that.
That'd be a glitch. All right, here we go. Super fancy intro, Glitchy, and we are live with JDI Coaching.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. So, what's going on, you guys?
Here we go.
Man, what a ride, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Well, I'm fantastic. So we're talking live from the offices of JDI Coaching, and you're talking live from life, from your offices.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, dude, it's going great. I moved in here like 2 weeks ago. It's super cool, like co-working space. So it's like I look like a baller because I got a receptionist and like a seriously.
You're doing better than us. We don't have a receptionist.
I know, it's really cool.
I got my wife. She'll answer the phone.
Yeah, I got like a business lounge with a fridge and super cool stuff, man. The internet's really fast. So yeah, I'm digging it. It's nice to have a place like away from, everything. But
dude, you look fantastic. How are the kids? How's everything going?
The kids are good. They're excited to go off on the road trip here. We've been prepping for that. Got a few camper bugs we need to get worked out, but yeah, I mean, this is happening. We're doing it.
Did you do a test drive? Because you were out there doing like a picnic or something like that. I saw on your page.
Yeah, we went camping over the weekend. Did a little boondocking. Found out there's something wrong with the battery. So we literally pulled up at the campsite and everything was cool. It's like, all right, it's bedtime. We start, turning on all the fans and stuff. And we put the lights on as we're, reading a bedtime story. And I noticed the lights are just dimming and dimming and dimming. And then it was nothing. And we got, so we had to sleep all night with no fans and no hookup and no AC, and that was great. But other than that,
Sorry to hear that.
So anyway, yeah. Should I do my quick sound off here? All right. Tour stops. We got Alton on the 17th, Kansas City on the 18th, Denver on the 21st, Salt Lake City 26th, Reno 28th, Orland the 2nd, Newport, Oregon the 7th, Olympia, Washington the 9th, Bellingham, Washington the 14th. Great Falls, Montana, the 23rd. Redwood Falls, Montana, the 28th. And we're pumped. So we got dealerships in Orland and Redwood Falls already booked. So, but I need somebody in Alton. So if anybody knows anybody in Alton that would like to be a stop. So this is proof of concept for a Netflix docuseries about automotive retail in America. How cool is that, man?
That's outstanding.
That's outstanding.
You guys were you were part of the genesis of this idea, though. I got to give you credit.
Dude, come on, man.
I got to give you credit. You set me on fire that day. I was like, let's go. Cheers. Yeah, there we go.
No, this is awesome. No, man, you know what? If we couldn't encourage you, then we wouldn't have the encouragement to do what we're doing ourselves, because it's a leap of faith and you go with what is right and you go with look, you have the look, we have the content, we know what we're talking about, we have experience, we've been doing this for a long time collectively, we know the right processes of doing things. I mean, this is what we live and die to do. And you said it best earlier today when you were posting. You said, look, we're doing this for a reason because we're passionate. We love this business. We want to pay it forward. We want to do this thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's we surround ourselves with all these youngins that we are, right? And they're they don't understand because they've never been exposed and taught the passion behind what we do. It's an art. You know what I'm saying? It's really an art.
It is.
And the thing is you sell cars, you service cars, you're just trying to, it's no, we connect with people. We're in the people business.
Yeah. But I think there's a problem there right now, though, because not to cut you off, but I want to talk about this for a second, because I did a post. No. I'm reading this book right now at the recommendation of Glenn Lundy, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Oh, yeah, great book.
So the fourth thing is you need to have specialized knowledge. And so I did a post yesterday. What, for all you salespeople, and you could probably ask the same of service advisors, what is your specialized knowledge, right? That's worthy of being paid for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And 2,000 views and 3 comments.
Man, come on.
So it's that has to change, right? We got to know what it is before we can really be 100% comfortable doing it. You think?
Right.
And it's the younger people that have a problem with it more than the older people.
We discount what we know. I think that's a big thing in this industry. We think that it's common. Everybody knows what we know, and it's easy to apply. And I think that's a big, that's a big miss for us, for all the people that work and I think the people that hit the high level, people that are high performers, and they just think, it's just easy. Why don't you just go do it because it's natural to them? But at the end of the day, there is specialized skill to that, and you need to take stock in that. You got to take a step back and pay attention to what that is.
So,
Definitely.
So what would you say is the specialized skill of a service advisor, who you primarily work with?
I think consistency is probably, as an advisor, that is your number one tool, is that you can do things repeatable every single day with every single customer. So if you're going to write up 15 to 20 customers a day, you're going to be there. You're going to write up 400 or 500 people a month. You've got to be able to do that process over and over and over and over again consistently without skipping a beat, without missing one.
But if you consistently suck, then nothing gets done.
I'm
going to challenge you on this a little bit. It has to be more than just consistency, right?
You know what? I love it, man. You just punched it in the face because that's exactly what I was come out and do. I was going to rack you Bobo with that. I'm telling you, right? You're dead right. It's about a process, a system, and having passion for what you do. One of the things that we encounter quite often is that if you just follow steps 1 through 25, but there's no sugar, there's not that extra sauce from you,
little
it doesn't
sizzle.
get done. The sizzle, it's got to have the sizzle. It's funny because I say it all the time. I remember it brings back memories of me where my grandma would make a meal and then my mom would make the same meal and it didn't taste as good as grandma's. And then when you go to my grandma, I'm like, I'd be abuelita, why can my mom not do what she does? And she goes, sweetheart, she just doesn't have grandmother's love to that. That's an extra, that's the extra sauce. That's the extra ingredient. It's grandma's love. And so the thing is I know as corny as it may sound, and we're probably going to get some people commenting, oh no, listen, if you do not show compassion, passion, and love for what you're doing, people don't see that. People don't like, this guy seems he knows what he's talking about. I mean, look, he's talking about this Chevy Traverse, and my God, this guy knows his stuff. I'm like, look, I own one, I drive it, I know what's going to happen. Look, you're going to hate it when you hit a bumpy road, sometimes you hear a little bit of a noise, you'll get over it, but the car's fantastically sound. I mean, the greatest thing of all is I love the sound system. I love this. I love that. And you're like, wow, this guy understands what I'm driving. I feel more comfortable with that.
Okay. All right.
And what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know, man. The specialized knowledge. So, for me, hang on, I'm trying to do the different camera angles, so I got to make sure I stay on top of that. I'm trying to make sure we're shared out in all the groups too. So, for me, okay, so you're going to get answers like, what's your specialized knowledge? It's like, well, product knowledge. Okay, well, that's great. Well, really, though, that's not that specialized, right? Because anybody can go out and get product knowledge. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's the ability to like sniff out BS. It's like, okay, well that's a skill, right? Okay. Yes. But it's not specialized knowledge. So to me, the specialized knowledge is the ability to match up the product stuff and the people stuff. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so for me, the guiding principle of a salesperson, my purpose as a salesperson is to help guide other people through the process of making the big decision.
Right.
And we've talked about that before. So I got to understand that is how I approach everything. And so it's like I gotta talk to you on a level that you understand, right? I gotta connect with you. I gotta build some rapport with you. I gotta listen to you and ask you questions. I do have to present the product. But I also I have to match that product to your wants, needs, desires, need for change, budget, make it happen right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the specialized knowledge, is how do I do that?
Okay.
Do you guys think?
So our, for service and parts, our specialized knowledge is we're the specialists of a need, we're solution specialists for something that you have.
Yeah.
So for example, I tell everybody, and this is how we train, is look, everybody has their doctor in their phone. Everybody has their accountant, their attorney. When you think about car, I want you to think about me. I want you to think about whoever my partner is. You're going to think about Ben when you're ready to buy one. You're going to think about Jay when you're ready to fix it. When you need anything in regards to keeping that vehicle reliable on the road for you, you know? And so the thing is what's my specialty? I'm the bridge, man. I'm the bridge between me being you and us human beings, and I'm the specialist at knowing what you're driving and how to best, create solutions for you. I mean,
Right.
do you agree or disagree with that, G?
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, so that's our specialty is we want to provide solutions for people's needs. And Bri, honestly, you have to maintain that need. You need to maintain the reliability of your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like back in the day anymore. It's never been that way, actually, where you can just drive it till it breaks down. You can, but that's not the right way to do it. I mean, we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on these vehicles now, more than ever before. I mean, let's talk about, the product that you represented for a long time, right? I mean, let's go through the years of that. If you look 20 years back, and let's look at a regular, give me something that you were selling
20 years
right
ago?
now, that something you were selling right now that has a brand name of 20 years ago.
Subaru.
There you go. You have a Subaru Outback. You see what I'm saying? There's a Subaru Outback, and you've had it for 20 years, or it's been there. The thing is, you need to know somebody that knows that. You need to know somebody that can protect you for that. You need somebody that you can rely on for that. Agree or disagree with?
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, people desire that. They want to have that guy. They want to have that person. They want to be able to pick up the phone and say, "Look, I know somebody."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Does that
agree.
make sense?
Yeah,
And so
100%.
that's what people aspire to want. And
Right.
so if people want it, why can't we be it?
Well, we got to know how to make that happen, though, right? Because we live in an ever digital world. So I'm the enemy of online retailing, right? I think now. Let me caveat that. I say that every dealership should have a robust, well planned, well thought out online retailing process, right? That exists as an option for the 5 or 10% of people that want to do business that way. But the concept of like online retailers are going to put brick and mortar dealerships out of business, I reject that. That is anathema to me. That is, I believe that will be terrible for customers. So we are in this transitional point where like we have to convince the world that we deserve to be here. Mm-hmm. That we deserve to be the guy. Because my fear is that, there's a certain level of transaction that necessitates a human being. So it's like, yachts and airplanes and houses and right. So it used to be like computers and like stereos and it's still lawnmowers, right? Still lawnmowers, but not so much, like really probably 50-50 if that, like dealerships versus like Home Depot. And my fear is that we're on the cusp of that with automotive, where it's just like the world determines that people don't deserve salespeople anymore for this
It's
kind
going
of
to become a
transaction.
kiosk, right?
Right. And I think that would
Without
be
that
terrible.
specialized
I think that
knowledge.
would be a loss for customers because dealerships at their best are like the best thing ever for customers.
Absolutely.
I mean, we talked about this before, and I'll share it again. But I had a friend who bought a Tesla when Tesla first started, selling cars, and he bought it from the NUMMI plant there in Fremont, and he didn't have a salesperson, and he went to go pick up the car, and he had been a luxury car buyer for a very long time. He had a Mercedes, an Audi, a BMW, and he told me the one thing he missed was a salesperson. Because he went to go pick up the car, and they're like, "Okay, well, here's your car, and
Right.
there you go, take it."
Right. That's
And,
it.
and it was like he didn't have anybody to talk to. He didn't have anybody to talk about how excited he was about the car, the features of the car, and get him excited about the product that he was about to go into. And he just kind of felt a little empty inside. Now he loved the car, but it wasn't the same experience, it's for sure. There's no doubt.
Yeah. And then if it sucks though, that would have been way better. Right? Like
Yeah,
if the last
that's
time he
the-
bought a car
yeah,
was terrible,
yeah.
it was like a head beating against the wall experience trying to deal with a salesperson.
That's right.
He would go to Tesla and be like, "Well, that was easy."
He's
And that's
like,
where
"Can I
we
just
are right
check a
now, you
box?"
guys. That's where we are. If somebody has a crappy service advisor who doesn't explain things well, makes it difficult, stands in the way, is a stumbling block to the business, and then the next time they go, and it's like an oil change kiosk, right? And it, boop, 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 and it lifts the car up and drops the oil, and then, right? They'd be like, "That's perfect. I can get it done. I don't have to deal with the person." We got to prove that we deserve to stay in the game.
No. I agree. So that's funny because about a year and a half ago, there's a product out there that I respect and I understand, and I'm sure you're gonna. But it was called GoMoto, and it was these little kiosks. Just like you said, there's this little kiosks that were out there, and the thing that was happening is the kiosks were super convenient for the customer. Now they weren't integrating really with the dealership management system or whatnot at the time when I checked it out. But I spoke to the service advisors and I said, "Hey guys, how do you feel threatened by this? Does it scare you?" And they're like, "No, we think it's great. We think that the customer comes in, they start picking and choosing like a menu, like they were going to order a burger and fries and chips, and then they want to add a mousse cheesecake or whatever. They can do all they want, and so we do all the work. I'm telling you, that kiosk right there is the number one sales person of alignments." And I said, "Dude, that would terrify me. Like, how are you not terrified? You're talking so nonchalant." And they're like, "Oh yeah, but it's also the number one refund thing, and I hate." The computer has to give out refunds because customers say that they didn't approve that alignment. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, "I didn't know it was a bait and switch thing. Like, you better give me my money back." And so the thing is it's become a loss for some of those, because you have to properly use it and it makes sense. But the bottom line is that the interaction of people is what people will tend to go right back to.
Yeah, you're right. We have to earn our keep. We have to become part of the solution. We have to be better than a computer or a kiosk. And you want to be a person that people want to deal with. We talk about this all the time is, you want to be their trusted advisor. You want to be able to, if they have a question about their car or a concern or anything, they're thinking about, Coach Jay. They want to call him because that's their guy. And instead we treat them like cattle, and then we're threatened about being replaced by a kiosk, and we wonder why. And it's sad. We need to stop and take stock in the craft, because I think there is a lot of specialized knowledge and there's a lot of really good people that do this. And it would be a darn shame if we all got replaced by machines. And I think to your point, the customer service side of it would be worse. Yeah. But we also have to own part of that responsibility. We have to do something about it as an industry.
Yeah. What's weird to me, like when it comes to digital retailing, like it doesn't cost Carvana any less to deliver a car because they have this immense overhead in transportation. So they're like, we don't have dealerships, we don't have salespeople, so you're going to get the car for less. But you don't get the car for less because they got to fuss around with getting the car here, getting the car there, hurry up, getting it cleaned up, ready. And so whatever they save in overhead from like brick and mortar and people, they pay back in logistics. So it's the same. Anyway, I think, I don't want to beat this one to death, but
no, I don't think I think it's a good conversation. I think what I'd want to do is I want to ask our audience out there, what do you guys think about it? I mean, do you see the value of what you do and who you are and what impact you have on the business? And if you don't, first of all, call Ben. We'll put you back together and let you know that you're worth something, because you are. I mean, the truth of the matter is that's what we're here to do. And we're here to train you, help you, give you tools necessary to excel in this business. Man, this business has made a good life for a lot of people. And I know a lot of us out there, man, I'm telling you, a lot of us out there have been bitching and complaining that the dealer makes all the money or whatever. But let me tell you something, man. If you're really good at what you're doing, which is this stuff, you can make a really good living off of this. It's ironic. This morning or this afternoon, I was trying to figure out. I put something about service advisor, service manager listings on Google, and it pulled up this thing where I don't know if you see on Google that if you ever put something, it gives you a bunch of different options where you can just scroll, like you can just point the little pointer button, and it asks a question. What is this? And it says, what is the average pay of a service advisor in the United States? Mm-hmm. And it said on there $47,000 is the salary, the average salary. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now,
let them keep thinking that. Don't tell anybody what you can really make.
Sure, go ahead. You're making $47,000, but it's really, if it is $47,000, wow. And that's what you make, call us, because we can make you a lot more, I promise you. And the thing is it's not about selling things to people that they don't need. It's about educating people, informing them, and empowering to making decisions.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So there's a comment on here, and Jeremy says, the knowledge of needs is important. We sell value, not repairs and maintenance. So, and I think that's true. I think it's
Yeah.
understanding and respecting what the car needs, and not just selling everything because the guy's willing to buy it. It's selling what the car needs, and selling value for all those services. JK says people still need to feel the touch. What does it say? It says feel and experience a car, but they may go online and complete the purchase. So what he's saying is they're going to get the touch of the salesperson, but then go buy it online.
Man, that ain't
I think
gonna
if you do
happen.
your job right, you and Ben, you could talk to this.
Yeah, come on, Ben. Give us.
You're not
give us
letting
some words
anybody
of
out of your
wisdom, bro.
clutches,
It ain't
right?
gonna happen, dude. That's just not gonna happen. Why would they go buy it online, right? The assumption, okay, think about this. The underlying assumption is that they're gonna save money.
Yeah,
And they're not. And they're not.
Exactly.
It's just that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So they're not going to go buy it online. So, all right, next question. All right, that's been keeping. What was it? Who was it? JK. He's been.
JK, yeah.
Yeah. Him, her, she. They've been up at night worrying about this. You know, and now they can sleep easy.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it says people will pay for an experience, pay good money for a better experience. You can get a good tasting steak at several places, but you will have a better taste when you have a better experience. And I agree with that. That's Jeremy again. I agree with
First
that
of all, Jeremy, I
100%.
gotta share. Can I share a quick story?
Jeremy, you need to go to bed
I'm
because
gonna
you got to
share
get up early
I'm
tomorrow.
gonna share you a quick story with Jeremy and with others on here. So, true story. I have a good friend of mine who used to run a restaurant in the Southeast, a very nice restaurant. And I had a conversation with him years ago. He probably didn't remember this, but it impacted me. And he said, listen, let me tell you something. When people come to my restaurant, they're paying not only for the premium piece of steak that I'm going to provide them, they're going to pay for the experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that my staff provides you exceptional attention. I'm going to make sure that the linens are super, clean, that you feel safe, that you get treated like royalty. That's what you're paying for when you come to my restaurant. Because I'll tell you right now, the meat distributor is the same person that I'm buying my meat from, that Applebee's is buying his meat from.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I'm paying probably 15 cents for an ounce, right? But Applebee's, you're going to pay $19.99 for that sirloin steak. At my place, you're going to pay $41.99. So why pay $20 more? Guess what? Because I'm going to make you love every bite.
Yeah, so-
I'm going to make you love the surrounding.
And isn't that true though? Like you think about the last time somebody said, "Hey, did you hear about the new restaurant that opened?" Now, whatever. Maybe we haven't been hearing that lately, but go way back. Go way back in your memory banks to when people went to restaurants. I was at a restaurant the other day. It was a nice experience. But anyway, the last time somebody was telling you about a new restaurant that opened, is the first thing that comes out of their mouth like how good the food was?
No.
Not usually, right? It's usually
Not
like,
usually.
oh, dude, it had this 50s theme. It was so cool. Like the waiters and waitresses were all skating around and cool music and a jukebox. You're like, how was the food? They're like, oh, the food was good too.
Yeah. Or the cocktail was outstanding.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
the
right.
Best
Yeah. The
old
booze,
fashioned.
man.
I had
The
the
booze will
best
always
whatever.
sell it.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
That's what we need to do to save the car business from online retailers. We need to offer booze.
Yeah, we'll put a bar in every single dealership
Right,
in town.
right.
Why not? I mean, I'll tell you what, dude.
All right, what can we talk about, fellas, that will actually help people? Because so far we've told people, like it's about we're guiding, we're selling value, it's all that same old stuff, okay, right? Like that's all good stuff, right? It's good stuff. Like what can we talk about in the next 15 minutes that will actually like change somebody's life?
I have a game plan. Honestly, I'm just going to go right into that. In the automotive service business, you know what I did? To be brutally honest, a lot of our processes I stole from the healthcare business, especially nursing, especially doctors or nurse practitioners. My wife is a nurse practitioner, and her level of service to her patients exceeds anything I've ever seen. And the thing that I'm telling you is every single day, before she goes into the office, before she sees her patients, and mind you, she's seeing 15 to 20 patients a day, she is prepared. She goes into their history. She finds out how they're doing. They find out what the things are. Preparation is the key to success. Knowing what is coming in the door, knowing exactly what their needs are, and being mindful of their time by providing them detailed information only builds value to the experience, right? Because what people hate more than anything is, hey, I was supposed to come in at 8 o'clock. I came in at 8 o'clock. The guy didn't have his stuff straight, or the girl didn't have his stuff straight. Couldn't find him. Walking around, I have to wait 20 minutes for this. I have to wait 30 minutes for that. And the thing is it didn't seem organized. And I'm telling you right now that the best advisors in the car business that I've seen thousands of you, and the top 5% have a game plan every day. It's about executing. It's about when Miss Jones comes in, Miss Jones, I was waiting for you. I'm glad you're here. I'm going over this. XYZ happened. I know we're here for the oil change. I know we're going to do this. We're going to do the other. By the way, I want to remind you what I talked about you last time. I have that documented here. We talked about it. Let's go ahead and get that done. Taking control and guiding them, because I'll tell you what, if you're going to take care of people, they want to be taken care of. And it's not about taking care of them based on what you believe they want, which is get me out of here. I only have 10 minutes. I only have 30 minutes. They just don't trust you. They don't trust you, right? And if you want to build trust, you got to take control and make them feel like you're taking care of them.
Let me push back on this a little bit, because I don't know many people that show up to work and they know that they don't have a game plan. I think most people feel like they have a game plan, or if they don't, they convince themselves that they have a game plan. Right? Because if you acknowledge that you're failing, well, then you have to do something about it. But if you don't really, if you justify it and you don't acknowledge that you could do better, you're doing fine, right? And that's the biggest reason why people don't want to accept training, because they've practiced this reflex for years of like, I'm okay, I'm doing fine, it's not my fault, it's all this other stuff. Okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you get somebody to recognize? There's somebody listening there right now. They're like, "Well, I have a game plan, right?" And it's not me. It's this other thing. It's the computer doesn't run fast enough, and everybody's stealing my work, and I get
You took my lead.
I get everybody else's appointments, and then I don't get paid on those, and it's like, so I'm just trying to get them through. Like, okay, so how do you recognize when you're underperforming and when it's time to get a game plan together, right?
Yeah,
and then I'm going to ask you a
have
follow-up question to that. But what slaps you in the face? Like, how do you do this for people in stores? And how can people do it for themselves? I'm ready.
You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Having a scoreboard.
Okay.
So we have a scoreboard for every single. We have several stores that play what we call on a competition with each other, and they know exactly where they rank with everybody else. And I'll tell you right now, the number one advisor right now annihilates everybody else. And I'm telling you what, another day he had a visitor. He had a service manager from another store travel to his store and went to observe the advisor to go, what are my advisors missing? Because I'm here to see what they're doing. Didn't he say that to us? He goes, I had to go over there and figure out, what are you doing? What are you doing different? Because I know you must not be doing what you must be doing something. You must have magic somewhere. You must have something crazy. What do you do? Are you giving customer cash under the table? What are you doing?
I think that's the thing when you don't have the results or the comparison staring you in the face. I think you can just kind of wander through what you're doing without having to really think about, it's like you were saying, Ben, like, oh, I'm doing good enough. I've got a plan. I come in every day. I want to hit big numbers. And it's really, you have kind of very ambiguous goals. They're not very clear, well-defined. And you've been kind of floating through existence that way. And having that scoreboard and a ranking system really does shed a spotlight on it and doesn't give you anywhere to hide. And I think that helps right away. That's the slap in the face you're talking about, because immediately when you see that and you see where you end up, you have no choice but to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, whatever it is I'm doing is not getting me where I want to go.
All right, so your dealership provides a scoreboard. If the dealership doesn't have a scoreboard, what do? I just ask the person next to me, hey, how many did you do today?
Well,
Yeah, that's what's tough.
Do I start competing against myself?
I would
Like, how do I
definitely
get pumped? How do I
compete
get
against yourself.
pumped to do that?
You surround yourself and join groups that encourage you. That's what you do, honestly. Like this right here. Hey guys, you want encouragement? You want some free content? And you're in fixed operations? Come see us. If you want some things in variable operations, go see Ben, man. Like we're here to help you. One of the things that Ben did earlier today, man, that I commend you is you linked some, or there was a person on the page who said, hey guys, let's help this guy out at the end of the month. Let's all talk about it. Let's come together. And it just creates a community. We're a tribe. We're a tribe of people in this business, and we want to help and support each other. That's what we really desire.
Yeah, and I think, so from there, from Facebook, I mean, we got Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and, there's so many social media outlets you can go and find somebody to compete with or to help push you. But, to your point, you can also compete against yourself. What are my records? What's my highest sales? What's my highest hours per hour or effective labor rate? And then compete against yourself. We were talking to a dealer just yesterday, and he's like, hey, look, I'm the best in my group. What else do I have to prove? And we're like, okay, well, now what you have to prove is that you can beat yourself.
Yeah.
Like, take a look at what you've done, what the best numbers are, and scoreboard those for yourself. And now you're just competing against yourself. You're not competing against anybody else. So I think those are the things. But when you start to do those things, when you start to take a look at what your high months are and you start to compete against that, it changes how you think about yourself. Your game plan, or what you think a game plan is, will change. And I think, I think a lot of people say, well, that was a good month. I don't know. That was situational. There was a tailwind blowing that gave us a little bit of momentum. And they want to put some sort of outside influence on what they achieved, because they don't want to have to try to achieve it again.
Right.
And that's the danger.
I don't want to be accountable to my own success.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to know where you're going wrong, if you're having that conversation with yourself, if you're saying there's some sort of outside influence that's impacting your success and you have no responsibility in that game, then that's the danger sign. Find a way to set a benchmark and compete against that benchmark, because otherwise you're going to be lost.
Yeah. So I have, I think it's really important to establish core beliefs and core beliefs that aren't even necessarily true. It's not true, right? And this kind of gets at the concept of faith, the result, you can see the result in your mind so clearly that you make yourself believe that it's possible, right? And that it has already happened, and then you just go and do it. So one of my beliefs is, we can sell every customer, right? We can sell every customer. And I know it's not true, but I have to believe it.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Right? I have to believe it. I got to believe I can get the additional services, the plus ups on every repair order, right? And I know that I can't, but approaching it, believing that it is right, that it will happen, kind of tunes my brain to look for the opportunities, every opportunity for it to go right. Right? All right. I want to ask you a follow-up question. So the scoreboard, okay? So the scoreboard, it's like, yup, I can do better. I'm pumped. I'm like, okay, I got this method now, right? I sat down with Coach Jay and the G-Man. I got the method together, and I'm going to do it. And I walk in on Monday morning, okay, and I'm going to do it. And then there's all these things that start bringing me down. Because it's like, you guys have experienced this, right? Because you've both started your own business. You left your safety net.
You're talking about the crab in the cage.
Okay, you left.
You're talking about the crab in the cage.
Am I? I don't know. I don't know that I know about the crab in the cage.
Yeah, so, you're talking about the crab in the cage.
So I'm going through this right
now.
Crab
in the bucket. No, the crab in the bucket. Crab in the bucket. So I'm crab in the bucket.
I'm going through this right now, right? And it's like the universe has this sense of when somebody's about to jump to the next level.
Oh,
this level is like, whoa, hold on, because they don't want to be left behind.
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it? Well, that's what the universe is telling you. How bad do you want it?
Asking you.
So what do you say to people when they've made that decision and everybody else is like, that's stupid. Just, because it's like the biggest demotivator, I think, the biggest hindrance for people is just like, nah. And that's all it is, right? It's like you just wake up one day and you're just like, nah. And
Why do you want to go and do that?
And you
That's
just go
crazy.
back to life as normal. Like, how do you stay on that path?
You have to change your circle,
Yeah.
and that's the hard thing. And so, what do they say, that your income is an average of the people that you hang around with your circle. And so, when you're in that environment and you're going to break out, what inevitably happens is you have to separate yourself from the people that you've probably been around for a long time and that do what you do, and people that you care about. But unfortunately, sometimes it's the people that you care about the most that want to pull you back down in that bucket. And that's a hard thing. It's a really, really hard thing. And Jay was talking about the crabs, and it's a fable, I guess you would call it, where if you're going to go crabbing, you're going to catch one crab, you better get a lid because the crab will crawl out. But if you're going to fill the bucket full of crabs, you don't need a lid, because the other crabs will invariably pull the one crab back down. So if you try to climb out, they'll reach up and pull you down.
Wow.
And it's just human behavior. It's our ego. It's painful to watch somebody succeed past us. And our natural reaction is like, hey, where you going? Youngster, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. How you running past me? And I think that's what happens to us all, is that they reach up and they pull us down. And so the only way really to fix that is to create a little bit of distance between yourself and those people that might have a tendency to want to drag you back down.
Here's a quote from the book. Success requires no explanation. Failure permits no alibis. You've heard that before.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard. It's hard when you're like doing what you're doing and you're breaking out and you're leaving the dealership and everybody's like, you're crazy, you're going to fail, it's never going to work. Like, what are you doing? You had a good job. What's wrong with you? And I'm sure a lot of my friends think that. I mean, I had a big house in California and a decent job and, living a fairly decent life. And now here I am, I'm in Missouri, and they're like, what are you doing in Missouri? Like going backwards, what's happening to you? And it's like, no, this is, we're on a path. We're on a path to do something different and do something better and be a better version of who we were. And, I love the people that I grew up with and people that my family, my friends and everybody, and I would never badmouth them in any way, but creating a little separation, giving yourself a little room to grow and become something else. That's freedom. There's a little bit of freedom in that for sure. And if you're in a dealership doing that, it becomes even harder. You have to create a shell of some sort so they can't penetrate.
Yeah.
We were talking to an advisor today, telling him that exact same thing. We're telling him today, be careful, because the guy next to you doesn't want to see you succeed. Mm-hmm. So just be wary of his advice, because it might not always be in your best interests.
Yeah, and it's not so much that we don't want to see others succeed, right? Like, nobody would ever say they're so selfish that they don't want to see other people succeed. But it's like the success of the person at the desk next to me shines a light on my failure. Right?
Exactly.
And it forces me to get real with myself. And that's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we've talked a lot about humility as a necessary trait for everybody, but especially anybody in a sales role, and I got to have the humility to look and say, God darn it, what is that guy doing that I'm not doing, and how can I get some of that, right? How can I emulate that? So, but back to your concept of the crab in the bucket, I really like that analogy. I didn't know that. That's true. Is that true?
It is true story.
It is true. It really is. So if I put 20 crabs in a bucket, none of them will get out. But if I put one in, wow.
But one in, he'll climb right out.
Yeah, because interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's hard, right? Because everybody wants to kind of nestle in wherever they're at, right? They get in their little office day one, right? And they set all their stuff up. And then the first thing they go do is they kind of like check on the neighbors and wander around, right? Talk to people. Where are you from, right? And you get that in and you kind of like take your cue from everybody around you. And they're the ones that make you feel better when you're, when you're down. And they're the ones that, want to be congratulated by you when they do well. And they begrudgingly congratulate you maybe when you do well. But it's like at some places that we go, everybody's just in that little nest. And if anybody breaks out of it, it's uncomfortable for everybody. So it's, you go in, there's going to be salespeople that receive individual coaching. there's going to be service advisors that receive individual coaching.
Yeah. So
if
and
you're-
I coach an individual advisor right now.
Right.
Who works at a Subaru store, right? All by himself. He's one of the top advisors, and he is getting coached by us because he's like, I need more, I want more, I have to learn more.
So has he had any experiences of being made to feel like that's stupid
Absolutely.
or shouldn't
The
spend
other day
money
we had
on
a
that,
conversation. I was coaching him, and he was like, look, I don't know what to do when I don't even support my manager. I mean, look at this email thread. Like, what am I supposed to do? And the best advice I had to give him is, look, right now you're in observation mode. You know processes. You know you've been to places that may have been better than where you are currently. Learn. This is a lesson. Learn the environment. Learn as much of what they know, because it's only going to be stuff that you're going to put in your toolbox for when you have the opportunity to create your own. You're going to take the little bits and pieces of what you've experienced into creating your own, I guess, art, your own way of doing things, So yeah, I mean, that's where, and that's what we do, Ben. Like, a lot of people believe that, consultants and these firms and these big old whatever. No, listen, we're here for the people. You said it earlier, right? Ben, you want to help the people, right?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a shift in education. I think too many salespeople and service advisors have had training shoved down their throat by management, and that's why it doesn't work, right? Because I can't have an open mind about something I'm being forced to do. It's just not possible.
That's a good point.
So how do you reach people at a level where they own it, right? It becomes their thing. And I think there's going to be a shift in the coming years of salespeople and service advisors investing in their own training and development and coaching, right? So like I'm working on something that something very, very affordable that salespeople can buy for themselves, so they're not dependent on their manager that they disagree with, that they don't respect, to train them, lift them up, teach them, right? They can go get it on their own. You guys, what do you think about that?
No. It's right on the money. And one of the things that we have experienced from those individuals, right? People who have been coached by us. I've been reached out by several advisors that have said to me, hey, Coach Jay, I think I'm at the wrong place. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, because all the things that you taught me that made me successful, and now because I had to relocate for whatever which way reason, is not being accepted where I am now, even though I know I'm doing the right thing and I'm still helping people.
Right.
It's just because it's not their system that I now have to conform to their limitations. And it's hurting not only my business, it's hurting my customers.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a time, and I've been saying this for a long time, Ben, especially when it comes to sales. It will turn in the near future where people are not going to trust the automation. People are not even going to trust the dealers. They're going to trust the people to represent them, to go buy their things for them.
Yeah.
I need somebody that I can call. Hey, to this day, I still have customers that call me that were my old customers saying, hey, my car's going in the shop. I had a buddy of mine call me today. Hey, I'm about to go pick up my Highlander at a Toyota store. Please tell me what I need to be prepared for, what they're going to present to me, and what is the legit stuff that I should do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "Hood."
Right.
And then calls me back. Listen, true story. Calls me back and says, is it weird that the person never even mentioned didn't even go over my paperwork, nothing. He just said, oh, car's done, parts over there. Just go figure out, it's across the parking lot.
Oh, man.
I'm like, do me a favor, will you call the manager and let them know they need JDI coaching?
All right, I don't want to delve too deep into self-promotion here because we are here to help people. I mean, the goal is a culture shift, right? The goal,
Yeah.
We want the whole dealership. We want the dealer to do well, right? The dealer supports the local community. He's the biggest sponsor of the small town, right? And we want that. We want everybody at the store to experience the uplifting, shift of a positive culture. But if it's just not possible, we'll take the individuals, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the ideal scenario, right? The dealer goes up because ultimately if you gain success, so does the dealer. And that's what you want. You want them to be prosperous, you're prosperous, and everybody grows together.
Yeah.
But like you said, if that's not possible and you're not feeling that level of support, then You got to go do what you got to do. I mean, right now, in this day and age that we live in today, like you need to go out and find resources. It's not just a job anymore. It's a career, and you need to have training, and you need to have somebody show you the path. And I don't know that it just kind of going with your gut really works anymore in this industry, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. I have, I don't know. We got to probably wrap it up, right, guys? We've been touting the benefits of training. How could we not, right? We're trainers.
I mean, I think we train. Like, we have a trainer, we have a coach that's outside of our industry. Like, we're paying somebody to coach and help us. I used to be a member of a mastermind, and you're talking about, like, what happens when you're the crab in the bucket and people are pulling you down. Well, you go out and you find a group of people that are like-minded that help you to grow. I mean, that's just what you do. Yeah. And I think in this industry, we have been sheltered and sequestered, and I don't know that we've looked for resources. Now, it could be us, it could be you, it could be anybody. I don't care. I think this industry needs an infusion of positivity. It needs an infusion of like-minded individuals that want to go succeed. And whether that's us or somebody else, I really don't care. I just think it needs to happen. To me, like, I've heard you talk about this before, Ben. Like, for me, I love this business. This business gave me everything. I mean, I put both my kids through college. I lived a pretty decent life, and I owe it all to the dealer that I work for in the city that I was in. So for me, it's really more about getting back and becoming a part of something bigger and trying to help this industry to succeed and survive and help the people in it survive, because it meant so much to me as a young person. And so like I said, whether it's us or somebody else, I just think you need to find a way to become motivated and really to deliver the best possible experience, so that we're not replaced by kiosks, so that we have something to build off of. Yeah. And people can still run this business.
Yeah. So if you don't want to pay JDI, you don't want to pay me, I highly recommend you get a copy of this book. And it's a little, how do I say, eloquently written. It's not easy to read, right? The concepts are deep. There's some great stories in it, but I've just been highlighting these awesome quotes out of this. And so this kind of ties in what we were talking about today. I just pulled it out of my bag. It was no ordinary desire that survived disappointment, discouragement, temporary defeat, criticism, and the constant accusation of waste of time. It was a burning desire, an obsession. So first you give life, action, and guidance to ideas, and then they take on the power of their own and sweep aside all opposition. And that's, it's so powerful. I feel like, if you're watching this right now and you're struggling, we got to take that idea and turn it into a burning desire, an obsession, right? So what is it? Is it the money? Is it improving other people's lives? Is it, what you're going to do with the money? What is the thing? And and focus your mind on that until it is a burning desire. It is an obsession, right? And only then can you actually make this jump, right? When you have a burning desire that borderlines on obsession, then your brain just does the things that it needs to do to make it happen.
Yeah,
right?
You got to have a strong enough why. Why do you get up?
What is your why?
You're not going to get up and get up cliche. At 5 a.m. and work 12 hours a day if you don't have a strong why. What is your why? For me, when I first started out, I wanted to be able to support myself. I grew up in a poor neighborhood, and we weren't expected to do much with ourselves. And so working as a technician, I was able to pay rent and support myself. That was my first why. And then I got married, and my wife unexpectedly got pregnant. Well, now I got these two lives. It happened twice because we didn't learn from the first one. And now I got these two lives that became my why. And that was everything to me, to give them a life that was better than mine. I mean, I would do anything to make sure that they didn't live the same life that I lived. They didn't live in poverty, and they had the best of what I could offer them. They went to the right schools, and they wore the right clothes and drove the right cars. And so that became my why. Now they're gone. They're up in college. And so what's the new why? Now my new why is I want to take what's been given to me and give back to this community. So it's like you, at some point, it's going to shift throughout your life, and you have to figure out what those things are. But at some point, you have got to drill down to what drives you. Like you said, you got to figure out what gives you that burning desire. You know, that thing that's getting you out up in the morning and making you go to work and do the tough things that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. If you can't figure that out, it's pretty rough. That's a bleak existence if you don't have something pushing you, you know?
Yeah. Well, if anybody needs ideas, send us a message. You know, we do a lot of talking with people, right? And that's part of it. We do a lot of pro bono work, right? So it's not all
the time.
And yeah, I get ideas. I'm like today, right? With Josh, I was like, literally I need an idea, right? Like I need something to think about and talk about, right? So and I'll spin that into something else, right? That'll be a little module for me, but it's like, hey, what have you dealt with that's a problem? So I messaged him, you know, we haven't chatted for a week, and I was like, do you have any unsold showroom traffic that's like out there right now? He's like, no, I've been closing everybody. He goes, well, I got this one lady. I was like, tell me what it is. Perfect. Get the idea. I make the video. I send it to him. I don't know how it worked out. I got to follow up with him tomorrow and say, but like, there's all kinds of stuff out there, right? Send us a message. Be like, hey, I'm struggling with this.
We're on Facebook. Come find us.
Yeah,
like,
man.
There have been people that reached out to us. We're not turning anybody away. Like you said, we're here to help. So it's not all about the money. It's definitely about making sure that, you know, we're giving back. And so, yeah.
We even welcome the trolls. We've seen the trolls. We'll take trolls. We're cool. Yeah, whatever.
I had a comment the other day, right? I'm driving in the car making the video, and the comment was just like, your face is annoying.
You're like, thank you. I appreciate that, by the way.
I'm like, annoying how? Can you give me some constructive criticism? Like, if it's legit, like, I'll improve it. I'm always looking to improve, right?
Oh my gosh.
Give me some real tips here. So, cool. Well, hey, it's been great, you guys. I think it feels like we're winding down. Anything else you want to cover before we kind of call
No,
it?
man. Okay, so let's go through it again, because a lot of our members right now, a lot of our audience members don't know what's going on. Okay, so this is what's going down. Ben, our buddy, right, our close friend, he's been a supporter since literally day one of JDI coaching. Like, no joke.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that was day one.
Dude, I mean, it was.
You guys played that
one. We were on.
You played that one pretty well.
Like, you reach out to us like, hey, man, you want to just talk together? This is pretty cool. Like, we should talk. And I'm like, yeah, let's talk. But Ben is about to go across the entire country, promoting, connecting, empathizing with us in this wonderful industry that we love, which is the dealership world.
Mm-hmm.
Dealershiplife.org.
Right.
That's why I picked that name,
exactly.
right? It's
Exactly.
all about that dealership life. And it's about having life at the dealerships.
Exactly. So dealershiplife.org is going on a cross-country trip. We're going to be together in Kansas City, right? On the 17th.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're going to be here together in Kansas City on the 17th, and he's going to go across the country. It's time to, we have friends. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I have very close friends. JDI Coaching has some really outstanding individuals in Wenatchee, Washington.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they are family, the kindest, greatest people there. Wenatchee, Washington, our Ford store out there. I'm telling you, they would bring you home. That's what they would do. They open their arms like, come on down, Ben. Like, we love you, man. Come on down, talk to us. We love you. Welcome. You're part of JDI. There are people. Let's do it. That's the kind of people in Wenatchee, Washington. So if you're going to be there, please. Anybody?
Oh, it's right next to the North Cascades.
There you go.
We're going to camp there for like a week.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll have to go visit these folks.
Oh, they're extraordinary people.
So, and
when you're in California, where are you going to be at in California?
So we're going to be in Truckee. And,
get out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to spend the night in Reno, and then we're going to go to Truckee. My brother-in-law lives there. And we're going to go over to Orland. There's a small kind of a buy here, pay here, like dealer for the people
Okay.
called Hibden Automotive. We're going to be visiting them because we want to get all the flavors, right? The big stores, the little stores.
Yeah. So we're supporting everybody.
Yeah.
Where's Orland at in relation to California? Central, North, South?
It's kind of central. So it's like directly west of Truckee, kind of.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right next
So
to.
let me see, because I got a lot of people in the San Francisco Bay Area that I know. So they might
it's farther north than that. But yeah, we could work that out. Anyway, the goal here, you guys, is again highlight and preserve all the best parts of our industry. We're shooting a proof of concept for a Netflix documentary about automotive retail in America, telling the stories of the people in automotive retail in America, and like
awesome.
presenting the other side of it. And it's not going to be one of these gotcha things, right? I'm a friend of salespeople. My goal is to present the positive side of the car business, right? That's a group that's out there. You guys can go join the positive side of the car business to prove that this is a thing that should be around forever. Dealerships at their best are the best ever for customers. You guys know it. I know it. We need the people to know it. You agree?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
All right.
You got it.
We can
100%.
chat more, but we're dwindling here, so I'm going to end the
Okay.
live.
All right. Let's take
So hold on before you disappear, guys. If you can see, G-Man, move a little bit.
Hard Shop Life.
Hard Shop Life on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts.
Hey, do we know when it's going to be?
Do what?
Do we know when it is? When is it?
Bro, dude, it's on right now.
It's on right now.
It's on. Just download the podcast, get some stuff on there. If you're part of Fixed Operations, come join us.
Perfect.
This is what it's about. Hey, also feel free. Anybody have questions about Fixed Operations? Reach out to me and the G-Man on our JDI Coaching Facebook page. Ben, reach out to him. We're all one big family. We're here to help and support each other. If you're out there and you're in the route of Ben, holler at all of us. We'd love to talk to you. Ben would love to see you. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be awesome, man.
You know what we should do? We should do like a hashtag like honk at the dealershiplife.org while it comes by. You know what I'm saying? Like honk at us. Yeah, woo!
For sure, man.
You should put like your whole route up on a map, and we're gonna be here, and then they can start like tracking you and stuff. And
dude.
like, oh my God, we're gonna be at that
All that.
exit 62.
I don't know if I'm that big of a deal, but
Let's turn you into that big
Hey,
deal.
come on, man.
That'd be cool. I mean, it's a crazy story, right?
I'm trying to be a publicist
3
here.
kids, pregnant wife, 6 weeks on the road, you guys. 6 weeks on the road.
Dude, that's a story. Write a book while you're out there.
That's it.
We're going to do it. All right. You guys have been great. Hey, stick around. I'm going to end the live. And
Okay.
we've been live with JDI Coaching. Thanks, everybody.
I'll tell you later.